Hello, I have another fun story to tell you. So, we've been talking about the work of water, especially the work of rivers, but today I want to talk to you about the work of rain. And of course, rain is water, but it's a different form than a river. So, when we were talking about rivers and rivers eroding, they carved a V shaped valley. And they carved a V shaped valley because they were eroding the bed as the rivers were eroding the bed as they flowed. But we got deep V-shaped valleys when the rain would also help erode the bank, and the river eroded the bank and the bed, and we got a V-shaped valley. So we know what happens when water erodes from a river flowing down and out. Now I want to talk about what happens when water falls from the sky. And as you can see, it's kind of a rainy day today. And so we can't wait for rain, so I have my hose here that's going to act as our source of rain. You could picture a rain cloud up here. So what I have is a piece of bare soil here. I scooped it up out of the garden, and here's a piece from our yard. I dug up a piece of grass. And so we're going to watch what happens when I add some rain to this bare piece of land. So you can think about when you're out and about and you see just bare soil. We don't usually see just bare soil out exposed. We usually see grass or plants or trees or sidewalks or parking lots. But this is what land looks like that doesn't have any plant material on it. You can see as the rain is falling, it's washing some of that soil away. The pile of soil is getting smaller. It's carving and carrying that sediment as the rain falls. And you can see just with a little bit of rain, how much smaller our piece of land is now. Now let's watch what happens to the land when I water the grass. You can see that there's lots of soil underneath the grass. But when I water the grass, the soil doesn't get washed away. The soil doesn't get washed away because the roots are anchored down into the soil. The roots are holding the soil in place. When we talk more about the parts of the plant, when we talk more about the root, we'll talk about the work of the root and how the work of the root is to hold the land, to keep it from eroding away. And look at that, you can see all of the soil is still there under the grass. A little bit washed away, but not much. But this pile here, as soon as it rained, it washed that soil right away. So we can see that areas that have plants have secure soil, and places that don't, the soil washes away. This is a big problem in places where people are cutting down forests, like deforestation of the rainforests and other places, because without plants and roots to hold the land can wash away. Something else that's interesting, so this was showing rain over a pretty short period of time, and when we think about rivers and V-shaped valleys, they're formed pretty quickly on geologic terms. But when we think about other places where rain falls, maybe rain doesn't fall all at once. Maybe it falls a little over a long period of time. So I'm thinking of places like the desert where it gets rain, but not a lot of rain. And so maybe there is soil in the desert, and maybe when the rain falls and washes away over time, washes away the thin sediment, the soft sediment that's on top. And I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we're going to hope it does. So the softer rocks or the softer sediment is washed away. And then you can see that maybe we come across a large piece that's stronger than the rocks around it. Oh, it's working, but there's so much water. Let me see if I can pour the water off without messing it up. Kind of worked. So you can see that the softer sediment is washing away. The softer rocks get broken down and washed away. And look at the roots that don't have any live plants left in them. They get washed away. And look at the rock that we can see, that big rock. That rock is firmer or stronger than the softer rock around it. And what happens is the softer rock around it gets eroded. Sorry, that's a terrible sound. The soil and sediment around it get eroded away, and pretty soon we have a rock that sits up on top of softer sediment all by itself. We call this a pillar rock. And I drew a picture of this while I was thinking about it. Here's a pillar rock. We see a lot of these down in Utah, in arches and canyonlands, where we have layers and layers of things like sandstone, and then some harder piece of rock, maybe a piece of limestone or something like that, a hard piece of rock that doesn't allow the rain to erode underneath of it. And so these softer rocks stay, they're protected. It's like an umbrella. And these softer rocks don't wash away in the rain, just like we have right here. This cap rock was protecting the softer rock, in this case soil, below it, and so it didn't erode. And this is how we get pillar rocks. There is so much to talk about erosion. I hope that you have enjoyed erosion by rivers and now erosion by rains. And I can't wait to share more with you. The next one we're going to talk about is erosion by waves. So think about your beaches and what you can see at beaches. And then next week we're going to talk about erosion by ice and glaciers. I hope you enjoyed erosion by rain, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.